as if my chest was going to cave. The tears that fell left a stain, the world we know's enslaved. Now I know it's hard to hear, you better heed the words I say. If we don't act as one, you'll see the false prophets will betray.
Hello everyone, welcome to Resurrect the Republic. Resurrect the Republic on RPN, CNN, PatriotFB.com. Today we discuss, again, one of the biggest problems that we are facing right now is an attack, an all-out attack on alternative news and media. Within the past week, my YouTube channel I've been suspended out of for reporting news and the truth. Apparently, Dave Hodges has been under a serious attack. His website, Facebook, Blaine Cooper, who is also working with us now, his channel he's banned out of. And this is just a few people in this close-knit community. But as I reached out to more shows, more alternative media journalists, I'm discovering that it is happening across the country to many different people. Google and Facebook and YouTube are the biggest offenders in collusion, I'm sure, with certain government agencies that do not want the truth to be revealed. I'm collaborating on a project with a filmmaker who is going to be releasing a film upcoming. I wish I could give you more specific information, but all I can tell you is this. The information and truth and liberty is rising. It cannot be stopped. It's no big secret that I had a little bit of an accident. It wasn't an accident. They're trying to silence us, and they're doing it through any means necessary. So Bruce has been a victim of this over the course of the years. He had a website, proveitsreal.com, where money was raised, where the challenge was to prove his research at the time, that's now we've collaborated with, but to prove it wrong. And instead of proving it wrong, they just made the entire website, the money behind it, everything disappeared. Now, Bruce was running for Florida, the House of Representatives. He called the election board to get information as to when they needed something shipped to him. I'm going to have him explain exactly what happened to him. But to make a long story short, they gave him one piece of information, and when he followed it, come to find out that he was lied to. And now it looks as though he's not going to be able to be on the ballot. And I tell you right now, it's not just alternative media. They're attacking us from every angle to try and keep the truth from coming out. Bruce, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Would you like to do me a favor and tell the people real quick what you experienced with the with your election here?
Well, I called the Florida Division of Elections. I asked about all the information about when candidates' qualifying date is, because I went through their whole website. I found the qualifying form, which has to be signed under oath, but I can't find which date it's got to be filed by. There wasn't a qualifying time. So they said the qualifying time was May 14th. And so I sent it in about 10 days early, and I found out it was the 2nd. 9 or 10 days earlier, it was on a Monday. I sent it like the 5th, I think, of May. It was on a Monday. Anyway, now they're telling me I was 9 days late, so I can't be on the ballot this year. But I guess the 14th was for other candidates, not for the Federal House of Representatives. And somebody must have given me the wrong time. Give me another candidates, or I don't know. hate to say,
Well,
I like to blame it on human error because I can't directly point my finger on nothing, but it's kind of messed up. So I wrote it on the calendar when she said it.
Well, you know, I know that you say human error, but if you work for an agency or a specific job and you have something such as that type of information, me personally, I don't call that an error. I call that a lie. And if somebody does make that mistake, then what they should have done was they should have done whatever it took to get you on the ballot, because that is exactly the type of problem that we deal with time and time again with these elections. First, it starts out lies, then we end up finding out. Look at the Republican, what was going on with Ron Paul in New Hampshire, the Republican primary. We find out that there was absolute and total voter fraud. Look at all of the people that were registered by Acorn in just about every state in the nation. Acorn was registering people that were dead, cartoon characters. I mean, they were so blatantly out of control with it. Now, what did they do? He's still president. There was no recall of the election. There was no, I don't care how much money it costs. You don't have a free election if people are being lied to, manipulated, and dead people are being registered. It's a joke. What is
well,
become?
You don't have a real government when the government's constitution's been hijacked and every institution that the Constitution set up has been overturned and replaced, from your citizenship to the court system to the law to your money system. Remember, Thomas Jefferson said, "He who controls the gold controls the law." We've been giving the whole dang thing to them, and we woke up to a generation that's so deceived they don't have a clue. And all this has been given to them, and it's been happening for the past 150 years, 14th Amendment on. Wow. Reconstruction Act on. Matter of fact, the 14th Amendment is a part of Reconstruction, an act to create, it's a congressional act, an act of Congress to create a more efficient form of government. That's what
more efficient than what? More efficient than what?
More efficient than the one created in the 7 articles of the original Constitution.
They're within. Here, people, listen to me very carefully. What he just said. A more efficient form. We were guaranteed in the Constitution only one form. They did not have, and they admit it. They admit departing from the supreme law of the land, the organic Constitution. They admit it out in the open, and no one does anything about it. I'm not going to say, you know what, people tried. People tried to do something about it. I'm sitting in front of me. I brought up, I was going to read it on the last show, U.S. Representative Mr. Rarick, going way back, the non-ratification of the U.S. Constitutional 14th Amendment. Bruce, chill out with the noise back there. I'm sorry, brother, I can't hear. Mr. Rarick came forward along with many, many, many others, when 11 states delegates. I know that we talk about this all the time, but I'm going to keep talking about it until it works, until it sinks in to the minds of the people that are standing for the Second Amendment. A perfect example. You have how many different groups that stand up for these different amendment violations? You have people that are against the NDAA. You have people that were against the Patriot Act. You have Second Amendment people that are against the infringement upon the Second Amendment. And what you don't realize is that the forces behind subverted it. You don't have these rights unless you stand for them. We'll be back. The other side. Resurrect the Republic.
Rising to the challenge is the first step that you take. Are you a free spirit or a slave? Are the institutions that have molded our...
Do you love America? Do you support the right to bear arms? Do you have an opinion on the current immigration issue? Do you believe in the dollar? You have a voice. You have an opinion. Let it be heard. Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com right now and make your voice count. Do you like your rights taken away for the so-called sake of public safety? Do you want to repeal Obamacare? Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com today and fight back. All you have to do is fill out a short survey and you're done. Simple, easy, fast. For your time, you get entered to win free gold and silver. That's right. Get gold and silver free by filling out this short survey that enters you to win. AmericanFreedomSurvey.com. Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com today. That's AmericanFreedomSurvey.com.
That moment of panic, sheer terror, really. You're afraid to answer the phone, frightened by who might be at the door. If you're facing foreclosure or being harassed by debt collectors, you know the feeling. You need to visit whatliesInYourDebt.com to turn the tables on the banksters, collection agencies, and other crooks. WhatLiesInYourDebt.com has solutions. WhatLiesInYourDebt.com features live training webinars from experts, a member forum, support from experts who've been where you are right now and came out the other side in a better financial situation. If you are like millions of Americans who are behind on their mortgage, behind on their credit cards, or just being harassed by debt collectors, then this system is for you. We promise. If you cannot stop your foreclosure, even if it's imminent, if you cannot stop those debt collectors from bugging you, if you cannot clean up your credit, and finally, if you cannot make a few $1,000s during the entire process, make money from the debt collectors, yes, at WhatLiesInYourDebt.com, we will refund your money 100% in the first 60 days. Don't fear the bill collectors anymore. Visit WhatLiesInYourDebt.com.
World-renowned physician and stem cell expert Dr. David Steenblock, D.O., and his research staff have spent years developing all-natural formulations that support the body's own stem cell production and mobilization system. An everyday stem cell supplement, creating the birth of Stemgevity. Stemgevity stem cell mobilization formula is for use by men, women, and children of all ages to support your body's stem cell system naturally, quickly, and safely. Stemgevity helps support your heart and circulatory system, bones and joints, liver, skin, brain, and much more. Order your bottle now at StemGevity.com today. That's StemGevity, StemGevity.com. Or call now toll-free, 800-300-1063. Buy 2 bottles and receive a 3rd bottle free by mentioning RBN. Anyone who wants to get healthy needs Stemgevity. Call 800-300-1063 today.
Welcome back to Resurrect the Republic, Dirty Uncle Sam, Truth Radio broadcast. We were discussing just a few moments ago all of the men that stood up in the face of these international bankers and the infiltration that occurred in American government. You know, I was reading an article on Right Wing Watch, who I guess have become enamored with a few of my friends and myself, and they referred to this show as an anti-government radio show, and my website is an anti-government website. And this is part of, by the way, the demonization process, the defamation, which is a complete and absolute lie. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-corruption. And I'm anti-anybody who subverts our Constitution. I am pro-constitutional republic. Now, how you could call a constitutionalist anti-government? This is the mechanism. This is what they do. This is what they try and do, is convince people that you're something that you're not, to discredit you. It's just one of the many forms of psychological manipulation that they take part in. We do have someone that's joining us. I consider a friend and an asset to this show, Mr. Chris Cave. How are you, sir?
Well, very well, Tom. Good morning to you and Bruce.
Good morning, sir.
It seems that Bruce might have grounds for an appeal to the elections board there based upon a reliance defense, as you guys should be aware of, because he was given precisely inaccurate, wrong, untruthful, or a fabricated fairy tale in lieu of the accurate information that he was seeking to be a candidate. And he may have suffered a horrible injury by expending his own private resources and the fruits of his labor, which have a value attached to them at minimum $10 per hour for all the time he has invested in his efforts to achieve election and campaigning up to this time, that has been destroyed and apparently obstructed through deceit by providing wrong answers in lieu of the truth.
Yes, sir. I would tend to agree with you, and we're going to be talking more about that, the details behind that. I'll call you after the show, and perhaps we can figure out what we can do. Because I tell you, although the mixed emotions that I have with someone such as my friend here having to run and attach himself in an unlawful system, which I think that that's a debate. We had a caller that called in that, we were having a talk, Bruce and I, the other day about this man's call, because it's weighed heavy on both our hearts and minds that perhaps running and becoming and having to swear allegiance to a constitution that has been corporately reconstructed to not be a representation of the Republic and of the original Constitution could leave ourselves with a moral problem, a dilemma. What do you think about that? Someone running and swearing an oath to what they know to be a corporate reconstruction and a false constitution?
Well, I think the person that would do that would be hazarding their existence by false testifying or perjuring themselves if they knew it, in fact, to be unlawful government, and they were to profess a status that was not the corrected status that they actually are, if they knew or should have known, or perhaps through lack of knowing, through not diligently informing themselves as opposed to believing what somebody else told them, they might suffer the liabilities for false testifying or making a false statement or a false claim if they were to do that.
Right. So that's something that's a very good point. So we've had, Bruce and I, we've had mixed emotions about him running in the first place because of that, because the only oath or allegiance that I'm sure that Bruce would accept, or that I would accept, is an oath to the original organic Constitution, and that's not the one that they have our representatives and our senators currently swearing allegiance to, and you and I are both painfully aware of that. I don't know if there's a way out. Maybe this was divine intervention.
Well, it's possible one could ameliorate the onerous operations of law by the clause in there of U.S. citizen to be able to run by striking a single line through there, initialing both sides and other than black ink, that would make it impossible for someone else to copy or to massage, manipulate, or Photoshop it into some other form.
Right.
And eliminate the onerous clause in the contract that's not acceptable to that person, because a contract has to be a two-party agreement based upon mutual consent and assent, and we are certainly obligated and dutifully bound to make sure the terms are acceptable before we accept a contract offer.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very good point. Bruce, how do you feel about that, buddy? What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Maybe it is divine intervention.
Sounds like Bruce may be suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome from being abused by the corporate system that runs the election board. That could be a cause for damage.
I think you might be. I think you might be right.
Shell shock.
I think that's a good. That's a good point.
I've got to. If you want to let me change the tone of the conversation for a minute, there's something going on that's really important for Americans to pay attention to that has national security implications that I think is worth addressing.
Absolutely. Have at it.
Well, this recent deal supposedly worked out by the State Department and Chuck Hagel, who is trying to claim that making a deal of capitulation by negotiation with terrorists to allegedly release one of our men that has dubious connotes or canards about his true allegiances, who's been at least in another country, if not in fact or possibly a hostage for 5 years, in the form of John McCain, who was held in a Vietnamese prison for extended length of time after he was shot down and crashed another one of our planes at no short expense to America.
Don't get me started with that.
Well, but this particular individual, I think his name is Bo Bergdahl, as what he's advertised on TV, was kept there for 5 years in Afghanistan, although there's some insinuations that he may have gone AWOL, abandoned, or defected to the other side to support the interest of the Afghan people, or maybe was converted or reprogrammed, psychologically manipulated, and had his mind wiped clear, and perhaps actually was a victim of mind control Psy-Ops to erase his mind because they claim that he has forgotten how to speak English or to be able to communicate in American tongue. So
wow.
I certainly suggest a blank slate that was rewritten over. After the break, maybe I'll finish it up and I'll give you plenty of time.
Definitely do want you to finish that up. Stay tuned. We'll be back with some more interesting stuff. Resurrect Republic.
The men behind the curtain and the illusion they create. Pull the puppet strings and seal our fate.
The IRS is a private corporation, not a government agency. Income tax is collected by voluntary compliance. To learn to unvolunteer or discontinue volunteering into the IRS, visit escapeharassment.com and immediately implement Strategy 1. The process must be repeated each and every time. Paper, letter, envelope, presentment, etc. Always and forever. Failure equates to acceptance, subsequent resultant contract, and you pay or go to jail by your own consent and agreement contract. Avoid recontracting. Visit escapeharassment.com and implement Strategy 1 immediately. Bar lawyers and accountants won't help you. Why wait? Get Strategy 1 and immediately implement it to divorce the IRS today and forever. That's escapeharassment.com, Strategy 1, to be free from the IRS. escapeharassment.com.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years, and Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
How important is the air you breathe? Our air purifiers produce activated oxygen, called aerin. Activated oxygen is the natural enemy of odors, pollutants, and many other harmful substances, yet it's completely safe. Our powerful air purifiers unleash the power of a thunderstorm, destroying pollutants in the air we breathe. It destroys many viruses, bacteria, and fungi, kills molds, and oxidizes chemical fumes and toxic gases. It removes smoke, pollen, and pet odors. Made with quality stainless steel, our portable air purifiers come with a manufacturer's 4-year warranty. If you haven't experienced the air and process of fresh, clean air, then call us today and receive 10% off your order. 877-605-9200. Again, that's 877-605-9200. Time for you to breathe clearly again. 877-605-9200.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Push too far, we will strike like a snake coiled up in the night.
Welcome back to Resurrect the Republic, resurrecttherepublic.com. And I'm going to ask you guys if you would do me a favor, go to resurrecttherepublic.com, resurrecttherepublic.com, and click on, to your right-hand side there, there's a little PayPal button. We are trying to raise some money. We're trying to accomplish a couple goals here for the station. And what I would like to do is we're putting together a media bus, basically so that we can go and bring all of our equipment with us wherever we go, such as this Bundy situation. We were there, future events in Philadelphia, New York, Connecticut, and D.C., So we're raising money very specifically for a good purpose, and we're reaching out to you guys. And if you appreciate what we do and you would like live reporting on location from these different events that are going on across the country, click on the PayPal link and help us out. That being said, we were talking with Mr. Christopher Cave. Chris, would you like to take off where you left off?
Well, yeah, I was noting the really specially observable, troublesome things about this Bergdahl situation, where he allegedly was a hostage for 5 years, and now they've magically, all of a sudden, under the pretense of exigency, under the, we'll call her very doubtful stories of Susan Rice from the State Department, the talking head for Valerie Jenrette, the special White House Trojan horse terrorist within the White House in the ear of the president that is really his handler. She has lost all credibility based upon the lies they put out about the movie and the Hillary Clinton story of the White House's lack of involvement in Benghazi when they were precisely involved. But more importantly, it looks like there may have been 6 jihadi terrorists released under this ruse to confuse by this particular misinformation administration, and this fellow has all the appearances of a reprogrammed or Manchurian candidate-created jihadi terrorist disguised as a American sergeant hostage being returned to America, along with the 5 Gitmo detainees, which were sold into human bondage and political slavery by the Egyptians under the Bounties for Hostages program that was put up first by the Bush program and continued by this program. So the whole thing smacks as a ruse to confuse, to bring in some reprogrammed jihadi terrorist masked as a poor hostage trying to recover, and the claim that his medical situation is compromised was an exigent need to bring him back and make this happen, although they claim it was on the board for a long time before it was part of the whole thing. Defies any common sense trail of cognitivity or believability, and it really looks like another one of these scams by this administration, predicated on nothing but lies to suit their political agendas and their terrorist mantra that they keep trying to put on America.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also, the father of this particular fellow, Bergdahl, walking with the president on the White House front doorstep and making an announcement, spoke perfect Parsi or Paki or whatever it's called over there. I'm not familiar with their languages, but it was Paki, I think is what it was called, Paki. The Pakistani language or the Farsi language or the Arabic. It was in like he'd been speaking it for all his life. I thought it was his appearance looked like a jihadi terrorist. He speaks like a jihadi terrorist, and he was speaking to his son supposedly on the White House mic, and he had a very curious display that he had his right eye closed and his left eye open that looked like some sort of a secret signal to someone, communicating some signal that was preconceived that I observed, and I suppose the others could have observed, but it was a very curious kind of a slanted blink look that was held for a long time, which raised my suspicion. Lastly, the left-wing terrorist group that runs right-wing Watch, who's trying to label you as anti-government, is precisely wrong. Being pro-honest government is not anti-government, but being anti-de facto tyrannical terrorist government is precisely the point of being a patriot. A patriot is one who protects his government and is critical of the government of tyrants that would take over the government. And that's what the whole mantra and mindset of a patriot is. And so it would be my assessment, and more accurately labeling you guys as true patriots and true lovers of honest, bona fide honest government, and opponents to dishonest terrorists and tyrannical dictators posing themselves as government.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, and then the plot thickens, right?
Absolutely. Well, hopefully I've been helpful in offering some suggestions to you and Bruce and observations for the people to pay closer attention to what's going on and to use their own diligent examinations of critical of watching and listening and hearing what they say and watching what they do to make your own assessments as to whether my observations are accurate or not. I don't tell you what to think. I only urge that you do think.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, we're under attack now. Just while you were talking, my computers again. I believe this is through Google. I was signed out and into YouTube trying to upload a video to ResurrectTheRepublic.com, but when I sign in under my name, my computer starts flickering and flashing. It's amazing. It's like anything that I try and do in the name of my own account, I'm having serious problems.
I sent you an email last night. You have been placed on the strained watch list, and you're a likely terrorist according to Google, so you've been suspended from being able to post for at least 30 days while they examine it.
Yeah, while they examine this. Well, I have news for them. They can examine something, all right.
Oh, well, Google has new satellites in the sky, supposedly communications, and we saw some very interesting different objects in the skies over Las Vegas night before last, and confirmed they were still there last night. They kind of have a whitish, yellowish glow to them, and they're larger than the normal stars, and they seem to be geostationary satellites. Now, what their true purpose is, I'm highly suspect, since you have the head of DARPA running Google.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what's going on, and I tell you, I'm about finished with all things Google. I was using Google Chrome for quite a while on my computer because it was convenient. I figured that YouTube was Google. It's just a little easier to have my account. Well, as soon as this is what they did. Now, I posted a video regarding a certain Christian that was forced to convert to Islam and did so and then was executed by having their head cut off anyway. Now, as far as their content is concerned, they tell you that anything like that needs to be age restricted, which it was. It needs to have a warning, which it did, and it needs to be for non-sensational purposes, which it was. Very clearly, it was only shown once, and it was shown as news, and it was shown that only adults only. However, what they did was they suspended my account, and they gave me a strike, and then they said that any future similar postings will result in a second strike. So what they did was they went back to last year, another one that I had posted, actually based news, and they gave me the second strike, and then they of course removed my ability to be able to post or do anything like that. But see, this is what they do. You build up hundreds of subscribers, 150,000 hits. You upload all of your work to their system, and based on some analyst somewhere with no court date, with no ability,
probably a government agent.
Yes, of course. Now, with no ability to be able to go in and state your case. As a matter of fact, this is their system: is that if you receive this strike the way you do and you appeal it, and who you're appealing it to is a nameless, faceless, probably government agent somewhere in the NSA. But if they reject your request, then you no longer have the ability to appeal anymore. Isn't that nice? How wonderfully American that is, isn't it? Well, people, we'll see you on the other side. Discuss more of your censorship. Please call in. We'll be getting to Fred and a few other callers. See you on the other side. Resurrect the Republic.
Ooh, nice shooting. Hey, that's a sweet AK-47 chest rig. Is that multicam?
Yep, got it from StrikeHardGear.com.
Strike what?
StrikeHardGear.com.
Set your sights on StrikeHardGear.com. Tough, tactical gear for your Soviet-style weapon that's made in the USA. Affordable, plus a no-questions-asked 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime replacement warranty. StrikeHardGear.com. Go ahead. Pull the trigger.
This is Dr. Robert Rowan, here to give you an important message regarding stem cell treatment. World-renowned physician, stem cell expert, and friend Dr. David Steenblock has performed over 8,000 stem cell treatments since 2001. Bone marrow stem cells are completely legal to do here in the USA. The bone marrow stem cell treatment is not only fast, done in less than 2 to 3 hours, but is relatively pain-free and has little to no recovery time. Dr. David Steenblock and his office are able to help and treat patients who suffer from cerebral palsy, traumatic brain injury, stroke, macular degeneration, arthritis, Parkinson's disease, congestive heart failure, and more. Personally using their services for my knee and seeing great improvement, Dr. David Steenblock is highly recommended by me. Go to stemcellmd.org or call 800-300-1063 to find out more. Again, stemcellmd.org or call 800-300-1063 today to receive more information.
Herbal Healer Academy presents its spring specials. All sizes of our 500 parts per million colloidal silver are on sale, along with products to help you lose weight, like apple cider vinegar, Hoodia, Metabolic Complex, and Pro Metabolic. That's not all. Anti-Parasite Intestinal Freedom, Wormwood Plus Complex, Stevia Liquid Sweetener, and the Super Enzymes are on sale. Visit herbalhealer.com to order yours. Request our free 128-page catalog. Healing the world with nature, one person at a time. herbalhealer.com.
I'm Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America, and I want to invite you to join the Second Amendment movement with Gun Owners of America, the only no-compromise gun lobby in Washington. Take action by becoming a GOA member today by going to gunowners.org. Gun Owners members receive the GOA newsletter, fact sheets, alerts, certificates, and more. But there's more to joining GOA than just a list of member benefits. The united voice of GOA members has been successful in defeating restrictive legislation designed to disarm our population. GOA has helped to get strong constitutional members of Congress like Senator Ted Cruz elected. And with your help, GOA will continue to successfully defend the rights of gun owners in the courts. Participate in our efforts to restore and preserve the nation's right to keep and bear arms. All contributions to our lobbying efforts are used exclusively to support or oppose firearms legislation. Join online at gunowners.org.
There are many water filters to choose from, but there is only one system that is consistently customer rated 5 stars as the #1 system for effective filtration of fluoride, radiation, drug residues, heavy metals, a wide range of radioisotopes, and more. Introducing the Pure Effect Ultra, the next generation water filter that also raises alkaline pH, improves antioxidant potential, and has advanced anti-radiation technology, all while using no electricity. Sold worldwide, it provides virtually instant clean water on demand. It is not made in China, and the shipping is free to all 50 states. Buy your Pure Effect Ultra today by visiting pureeffectfilters.com. or call 888-891-4821. Again, that's 888-891-4821. Or visit pureeffectfilters.com.
The creature from Jekyll Island. Corruption is the cause of all dark.
Welcome back to Resurrect the Republic. ResurrectTheRepublic.com. We were just talking about Google censorship and all of that. Any company that operates in the United States. Now, I know I've been telling you guys time and time again, the Constitution that our federal corporation is going by is not the Constitution that you've been led to believe that it is. I'm a strict constitutionalist. I stand for the organic Constitution. And we know that our Constitution was basically put to sleep in 1868. So that being said, everything past that is pretty much an illusion. The only constitutional rights that this federal corporation gives you is an illusion in order to allow you to believe that you have any at all. And I can prove that. I can prove it for 100% fact. Now, what they've done is they've made it, now, if you recall, it said no involuntary servitude shall be made. But they did not mention voluntary servitude. They also failed to mention that the voluntary basis by which they have you agree to give up your rights to be replaced with privileges is done in a manner that is coerced, under duress, and most people don't even realize it. One of the prime examples is the Department of Motor Vehicles. Perfect example. Wonderful example to illustrate 14th Amendment jurisdiction run amok. You have an agency that is so hypocritical in just about every state, and I'm going to show you how. Take my mother, for instance, who is in her 70s, who has a driver's license that every so many years she writes a little check, sends it in, and she receives a new license. Now, they would have you believe that you need a license because it basically provides security in that you have to meet a certain standard. You have to take a test, and you have to be capable to operate a motor vehicle. Now, here's the thing. If for some reason your driver's license expires, you move out of state, for instance. Say you move to Key West where you don't need a license, and you live there for 10 years. You come back to your state, mine being New Jersey, and say, you just want to go into motor vehicles. They have your picture. They have all of your information. And you go in there with your money, and you throw your money down on the table, and you say, okay, well, give me my license. Why you would want to do such a thing, I don't know, but that's a whole other story. But now, even though you've had a license, even though you've had endorsements on that license, your license is no longer valid. Now you have to retest. You have to pay for the fees of retesting all over again. And basically what it all comes down to is money. It has nothing to do with your ability to drive. And here's the proof. My mother, who paid her fee religiously, she's never been retested. Now, how did they know that she's even operated a motor vehicle? She could have just maintained that driver's license for identification purposes. They don't know. They have no idea, no way to know. It's all about money, people. It's a commercial jurisdiction to generate revenue. And furthermore, they use it to track you. They use it basically, you try and go and do anything. For instance, walking into certain places that they require ID for you to get in. Okay, well, I have a county ID issued to me by my elected representatives, not some appointee of a agency of the state, but even more close to home than that, duly elected representatives in my local county. Now, that's a government agency, right? Your county. Try and use that to travel. I was denied. Try and use that to cash a check. I was denied. Try and use that to enter places that require you to have a government ID. And because it's not in their book, because they have a certain book of government IDs, it's not in that book, I was denied. Do you start to see the problem here? If you truly want to withdraw yourself from this system, it's all about generating revenue. It's not about your security. And by the way, we have individual rights. And in a constitutional republic, as I illustrated the other day, by the man who steals cattle and the ranch owner and his hands that capture him, and they're about to hang him. Now, they see that he stole the cattle. They know that he did it. That's a democracy, right? A constitutional republic is the sheriff riding up and saying, nope, he's coming with us. He's getting a trial. He'll be convicted based on that trial. He'll have a chance to say his day in court. That's a constitutional republic. We have individual rights. Our individual constitutional rights trump the rights of the many. There's a reason for that. No matter how much they try and indoctrinate the public to get 51% cooperation, it does not trump an individual's rights. Guaranteed. These rights were given to us by a higher power than man or government. And they cannot be taken away. Now, back to the licensing situation. You have the God-given right to travel unmolested for non-commercial purposes, going from point A to point B. This has been declared in courtroom after courtroom. It's published on resurrecttherepublic.com. If you want to see it, look it up under Right to Travel. And what they've done, and when you give the government an inch, they'll end up completely taking 150 miles. This is what they've orchestrated by making it about public safety. If it was really about safety, our licensing would be set up as it was for the aeronautics industry. True retesting and making sure you're qualified. We have a couple callers. I'm going to finish this point on our next show. Fred in Michigan. I'm sorry that we're limited on time. Shoot, you have a question or a statement you'd like to make?
Okay, so what you're describing is commerce via the Uniform Commercial Code, which means contract.
Yes.
And contracts are valid if and only if they are consummated with informed consent authorization, which is predicated upon full disclosure in good faith. That means government attorneys, government officials must explain in very comprehensible language terms that should I record, for instance, my private land deed, and there's no statutory mandate to do that, but when I do, I forfeit, surrender, waive, convey the economic monetary priority interest right in my private land. I no longer legally own it.
Right.
The corporate government now legally owns it, now has presumed valid authority because the act of doing something is implied consent, and they equate implied consent, the act of doing something, with based on you see how convoluted this is?
Yes, it's called voluntary servitude, serfdom. Wake up, people. Fred, thank you very much. Call back tomorrow, Bear. Call back tomorrow, brother. I'm sorry I didn't get to you. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Resurrect the Republic.
We shall bow down into the tyrant's reign. We the people.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Tom.
Are you free? Are you a slave?
You're feeling better, man.
We shall bow down. Lock them down. We'll have our way. Hey, politicians, are you listening? You need to ask yourselves a question. Do you work for the people, or do you work for the banks and the special interests?
With financial uncertainty circling the globe due to job losses, decline in the housing market, a climate of corruption, bailouts, currency rigging, and unfair competition, many are once more turning to precious metals as the only hedge against the uncertainty of the future. With the U.S. House conducting hearings on proposals to confiscate workers' personal retirement accounts, including 401ks and IRAs, this is the time to secure your assets. Call Republic Trading Group today, 800-691-7898, before this happens, and find out how easy it is to convert your existing IRA and, in some instances, your 401k plan into real wealth now. Don't let the ravages of hyperinflation caused by the massive increase of fiat currency now flooding world markets affect your retirement account.